Was this the greatest ever electronic music UK number one? Because around the time we hit peak cultural civilization in 1996, Firestarter by the Prodigy spent 3 weeks on the UK number one spot. And actually, how did a band who came to define early 90s rave go from making records that sounded like this to bangers like this? So let's unpack this. Because in 1992, one of the greatest beefs in the UK dance music history begins with Mixmag stitching up the Prodigy, beginning a beef that would last nearly 2 decades, essentially accusing them of killing rave music. Yes, the sound at the time had descended into parody, but the Prodigy had always been innovators and weren't really responsible for those toytown techno rave remixes. And actually what they do next in their reinvention is actually the hallmark of greatness in music artistry, in my opinion.
It's opinions based. So
Liam Howlett is originally a hip-hop head and goes on a trip out to LA in 1993. He discovers a band called Rage Against the Machine. So anyway, the first track he writes when he gets back to the UK is a track called Their Law, and that one goes on their absolutely impeccable sophomore record, Music for the Jilted Generation, my personal go. But then the Prodigy are my Beatles. What? Essentially, Jilted Generation lays the blueprint in many ways for the more industrial, heavy, guitar sampling, breakbeat sound that we hear on Firestarter. But there are some other forces at play. Because after the rave, Eurobeat, techno dominance of the late 80s and 90s, you start to see the rise again of guitar bands. So the sound of Firestarter has a serious crossover potential, and it's probably that what helps it stay at number one for 3 weeks in 1996. But lastly, and most importantly to the alchemy of this record, beautiful, wonderful frontman Keith Flint, who before this record is only really a vibes guy or a dancer, but for Firestarter he not only steps up, but he unleashes a kind of freakish reinvention of his character, and that matches the energy of the new sound, and it comes to define a generation of electronic music in many ways. And what a banger. Big up Prodigy. Undrop this, keep on dancing.